There's also another law taking effect later this year in June that will limit when landlords can pursue evictions for crimes that happen off property. Danny Spiewak is here to explain why that is stirring some debate. Danny?
Well, Randy, these changes for tenants and landlords are all a result of laws passed last spring by the DFL-controlled state legislature here in Minnesota. The new policy restricting evictions for crimes committed off property is one of the more notable shifts.
As the calendar flips to 2024, about a dozen new housing laws took effect Monday, impacting renters and landlords.
Well, it's a rather long list.
But Cecil Smith of the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association, which represents housing providers, says he's also keeping a close eye on another law taking effect in June. That law, passed through the legislature's public safety bill, will limit what's known as a crime-free provision in a lease.
We're very troubled by that. Most of our customers and our staff expect to live in a safe place.
Under the new law, landlords won't be able to pursue eviction against tenants for their conduct off property, unless they're accused of a crime of violence against people associated with the building or are convicted of any violent crime anywhere. Landlords could evict tenants for their conduct on what's known as the curtilage of the property, typically meaning right next to it, but that might not cover a public street.
In the street, across the street, dealing drugs across the street, that's a problem. And we really hope the legislature takes a very careful look at that law before it comes into effect.
But tenants' rights groups like Homeline say the law will effectively prevent landlords from evicting renters for minor crimes.
Under the current rule that we have, there's an argument that if a tenant was caught shoplifting in Baltimore, the landlord could evict them here in Minnesota.
Homeline managing attorney Mike Vra says the exceptions written into the new law for crimes of violence are strong.
If we're talking about the big crimes, the chances are that the tenant's going to be living elsewhere anyway. They're going to be housed, in a correctional facility. I've heard landlords really, I think, overly concerned about this issue. I don't think it's something that comes up as often as they're portraying it.
This new law, of course, relates to conduct off property, but Minnesota law still bans renters from committing crimes on property. That means landlords can pursue evictions for use of illegal drugs, illegal use of firearms in a building, possessing stolen property, and prostitution.